Hi everyone, it's Jenny again, and today we're going to talk about lavender oil. Lavender oil is known as all things calming, and when we're talking about calming, I'm not just talking about calming the emotions, I'm talking about calming physically as well, and we'll go into a list of those things. Now, lavender oil is known as the Swiss Army knife of the essential oil world, just because it can do like millions of things. Millions of things. It's an amazing oil. It's one of the most widely used oils in the world. And often people say that they can't stand the smell of lavender, that it makes them feel sick, that it gives them headaches. This is probably because they haven't smelt the doTERRA lavender. Now, in being the most widely used oil in the world, then we can also know that it's the most adulterated oil in all of the world. Lavender oil, most people that if they go to, Walmart or wherever that they buy a lavender oil, it's probably usually just a fragrance and it's not even an essential oil, or it's maybe a little bit of lavender oil and there's some synthetic or fillers of coconut oil or whatever in there, but usually people have never actually smelt pure lavender oil. So we just need to get their hands on this one, and there it is. Lavender oil, all things calming. And I absolutely love the smell of lavender. And usually people that don't like lavender end up loving this lavender, which is really interesting. So one thing I want to do is just show you quickly this book, The Essential Life. This is like the Bible of our oils world. So there is a lot of other great books out there that you can get, but this one is really fantastic. And a lot of us use and reference this book. If you don't have a copy of this book, please let whoever joined you onto Oil Camp know, and we often do group orders. In doing sort of bulk group orders, we bring down the price of shipping and things like that, and it makes the book, not as expensive as it would be if you just bought it by yourself. I think the last one we did, we ordered like 30 and it brought them to like $31.50. So it's not a hugely expensive book, but it is a super, super good reference. And today I'm actually just going to go through this book and let you know a few things about lavender oil. I'll show you the page actually. It's a really pretty coffee table book too. So it goes through every single oil like that. So it goes through all of the single oils, it goes through all the blends, then it has different, like a whole bunch of stuff, different things on sleep and different recipes and all sorts of different things. It's a great book. Let us know if you don't have it and we'll get it for you. So lavender is great for sleep issues. So we know that it's all things calming. You can use this oil on babies. The way that you would do it is you can make up a roller bottle and just rub it on the soles of your baby's or children's feet or your feet, and it will get you into a nice state for sleep. We can, this is my 4-year-old assistant set up the scene for today's video. So that's thank you Inara for this beautiful scenery. I was trying to point to the diffuser. I forgot all this. So you can actually, she's got some creatures over the nozzle of the diffuser, which isn't a great idea because the mist can't come out. So you can diffuse it. So often in the late afternoons, if things are getting a bit like or just in the evenings while we're having dinner, I've got lavender running just because it's a nice calming, it brings everyone down, gets everyone ready for sleep. So sleep is fantastic. So you can use it topically, you can use it in your diffuser. Fabulous for stress and anxiety. So my 6.5-year-old, she is quite an emotional little being, and so it's interestingly enough, she's very, very much drawn to lavender, but also wild orange. Now, wild orange can be either uplifting, but for some it can be very calming. So she has a roller bottle of lavender and wild orange, and that's her go-to for anything, for when she feels a bit stressed or anxious. That's her little roller bottle that she uses, which I love because she knows and she's got the tools to use to help her. So great for stress, anxiety. Now with adults, for stress and anxiety, you can actually take lavender oil internally. it's a super duper strong oil, so you wouldn't like put 1 drop in a cup of tea. It's way too strong. If you're making a huge pot of tea, you could put it 1 drop in, but still it would be pretty strong. So what I would recommend, if you want to take it internally, if you've got some anxious, you know, if you're anxious for a few days in a row and you want to help and use lavender to help that, I would dip a toothpick in and swish it through my cup of tea. Or you could take 1 drop, and you're going to take it in an empty, get the empty pill casings. I don't know whether you can see that. Anyway, it's just an empty capsule. Put a drop in, put it together, and you can take it internally. So it can be very relieving for stress and anxiety. Sunburns and burns and scars. So lavender, as we know, it has pain relieving qualities. So if you have a sunburn, or you've burnt yourself on the oven, or like me, a hot glue gun when I'm doing art with my kids, or what else did I say, or scars, this is going to be really soothing and take away the pain. I have burnt myself with a hot glue gun, and with lavender, if it's something big and like a bee sting or a wasp sting, my 6-year-old gets stung every single summer by a wasp or a bee, and so I always carry around not only a diluted roller bottle, but I do carry around with me in my bag also just a bottle of straight or lavender oil, because if it's something sort of serious like pain, like a burn or a bee sting, you can actually put this on neat without diluting. And I do with my 6-year-old, and I have with my 4-year-old as well. It's one of the more gentle oils, so it's not going to, it shouldn't cause any sort of reaction on the skin. And with it being neat, it's going to be more effective, especially if you have a burn like a hot glue gun burn or a burn from the stove. You don't want to be putting an oil on it like coconut oil or olive oil, because that will actually make the burn worse. So in that instance, you should put it on neat, which is undiluted, and I just drop it straight out of the bottle, 1 drop. When I got burnt by the hot glue gun, I did 1 drop, and it took that sting, that burning pain, straight away. And interestingly enough, 4 hours later, I felt that same sting and burning coming back. So I just put 1 more drop on, and then that was it. I didn't need to do it anymore. So it's very, very good for pain relieving. Allergies and hay fever. Last spring, I suffer from allergies, and we have cottonwood here, and it's just horrible. It comes every season, but this last season was really bad for me. And so I took, in a veggie cap, now you can do whatever amount you feel comfortable with, but I did 2 drops of lavender, 2 drops of peppermint, and 2 drops of lemon. And that is our allergy blend. Now, if you don't want to be making it up yourself, I don't have any, but you can actually buy the Tri-Ease, which is the seasonal allergy blend, and it's already in little capsules from doTERRA. But if you have the peppermint, the lavender, and the lemon, this is your allergy blend. And I tell you what, I wasn't sure if it was going to work, and it worked amazingly. So all those years of me using horrible Benadryl and things like that that made me feel foggy, made me feel awful, are gone, because this works. It's amazing. So the lavender is going to help with all the inflammation. The lemon is going to cleanse and detoxify, and it also helps with drying. And the peppermint is fabulous for clearing and opening the airways and helping drying out. So that is an amazing blend for allergies. Colic and upset babies. So you can just dilute it in a roller bottle, you can massage it on, you can put it up their spine, on their abdomen, bottom of their feet, and this is going to be soothing. It's going to be soothing for the muscle spasms, it's going to take away pain, it's going to be emotionally relieving and soothing. I mean, you've got everything all in one with this oil. It is, no wonder it's a very widely used oil. Cuts, wounds, and blisters. So the same thing. It's going to take away pain. It also kills germs, does the inflammation thing. It's amazing. Oh, here we go. I've already talked about bug bites and hives. It's great for pink eye. So Funnily enough, my daughter, she had a very irritated eye, my 4-year-old, and we can't give her anything because she's on chemotherapy. So we can't give her, or use anything unless the hospital have approved it. So unfortunately, she had a bit of a fever and she had this really red eye, and I had to take her to the hospital at 10 o'clock at night, which was really annoying. So we get there and they prescribed a cream to put on, but their pharmacy wasn't open, and I was so exhausted. By the time we left the hospital, it was early hours of the morning. I just drove her straight home, and I thought I'd go to the chemist in the morning, but in the meantime I decided to try a roller bottle with lavender, melaleuca, the tea tree, and frankincense. This cleared up her eye. I did it a couple of times during the early hours of the morning, on and off, just around this part of her eye. And then just obviously you don't want to get it in the eye. And then the next day it had really improved, and it was awful. It was horrible. And then I just continued to do it and it cleared up her eye. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So lavender does that. It's great for high blood pressure, to put on pulse points. It'll just bring that right down. Great to inhale from headaches. If you're feeling stressed with the stress response of a headache, we know that you can use frankincense and peppermint for headache, but if it's a very big stress response, you can grab your lavender oil, put a drop in your hands, inhale a couple of really deep breaths and rub it on the back of your neck, and that will help with that stress response. And just emotional balance. So these are all the things that it has in this trusty book for lavender oil. Of course, there are actually other things in there too. Lavender is a wonderful, wonderful oil. Maybe tonight you could use lavender oil to help calm everyone. You could put it on the soles of everybody's feet or diffuse it for your nighttime diffusing, and enjoy and relax with this beautiful blend. Okay, bye everyone.